Step into the paranormal with Ernie Atwell and David Seiler, brought to you by Paranormal Inc., right here on WLFE DB Radio.
Hello, everybody.
We are live.
We are live and wild. It is Sunday, the 24th.
That time of the weekend.
And it's already fall.
Thank goodness, man. You know what was cool about it? First day of fall, we was hosting a public investigation.
Absolutely.
And man, you could feel it too.
Yeah. Actually, keep an eye up on our YouTube channel, because we did something last night that'll just melt your mind. And we ended up going as far as we had to release a spirit that was begging us because they were lost. Really, really wild.
Yeah,
stuff.
it's we host a lot of public investigations at various venues, and it's the same venues. And the one we were at last night, we've always said it's kind of like a passageway, transient. For wandering spirits. It's it
used to be part of the Underground Railroad.
And I tell you what, man, it was like the first hour, it took a turn that we just didn't expect. Yeah. So, and a big thanks to our friend Rob Murphy from Elite Paranormal.
Yep.
He gave us a hand last night. Always good having him with us.
Yep. So it just it blew my mind, because we did a yes/no wheel with pencils crossed on top, and it was literally answering yes/no on command.
But the thing, it was funny because it was doing what Dave said, but we were having Rob relocate where he was sitting
in the room,
and wherever he would sit, I would ask if it could turn the pencil point to Rob, and it would do it.
And it would stop right on him.
Yeah,
it got to the point where, somebody asked, are you lost? And it would say yes, and it said, somebody asked, do you want our help to release you back to heaven? And it went back to yes. And then so we haven't posted it yet. Somebody's asking where we could see this. If you actually go to Paranormal Inc., Sue Whittle actually posted a partial video of it. I don't have a full video myself because I wasn't expecting.
Our cameraman John took a
day off
yesterday,
but
and that's what we needed.
Yeah, but it was mind melting, because we asked in several different ways. Are you stuck here? Yes.
And for those that don't know the experiment we're talking about, if you saw the video when we was at the Ville Inc., or a few years back when Jeff Leeper and Lori Johnson was with us at the Lookout House.
Yes.
And we did that.
We just did the same experiment, trying. We didn't really expect anything.
Yeah.
And it really took a dramatic turn.
Right.
So Rob actually helped. Rob and I helped release it, pointed it to the light. It's supposedly a male spirit that was just lost and just asking for help. And we confirmed it like 5 different ways, asking reverse questions. Are you lost? Do you know how to leave here?
Yeah.
So if the yeses for the lost and leave, and it was
I'm very skeptical with a lot of things. And, I was convinced.
Yeah.
I was completely convinced, because, I'm not about all that, being a man of faith. I'm not all about that hocus pocus stuff. You know what I mean?
Correct.
And it takes a lot to convince me.
Right.
And I mean, without a doubt, it just went from a fun public investigation to everybody kind of clear out. This just got real. So just check it out when we'll get it posted.
I'll get it posted in the next few days, the portion I have. But if you go onto the Paranormal Inc., you'll see part of it already that's up there by Sue. Thank you, Sue, by the way.
Yep.
So now for our guest.
Very special guest. I say we just bring her in and she can tell us all about herself instead of me butchering it.
All right. And what's her name?
Onae.
There you go.
Hi.
Long time no
see.
How
you doing?
You pronounced it beautifully. Thank you so much.
Oh, that's because when we were off air, I was saying it to myself.
Yeah, you can see he was going.
It's funny because look, Onae and I have been talking about the upcoming event we'll announce later and tonight's show, and I had posted a photo. I forget who I was with, and she replies she was like, "Oh yeah, it was me and Santiago." So she says, you were at the bash? And I'm like, yeah. And she's like, you didn't speak to me? And I'm like, I
who are
didn't
you?
know you. I didn't know you were there. And she sent me a photo of her by Lori. And as soon as I saw her photo, I'm like, oh, I know who you are. Because I know you walk past our table 50 freaking times. Like literally. So I was like,
I didn't
I kind of tried to flip it on her. I'm like, but you walked past my table like 50 times. You didn't speak to me.
Hi, yeah, hello.
What was that your first Gettysburg Bash?
That was last year was supposed to be my first, but stuff happened that I couldn't make it. So I made sure I was there this year.
Well, since you don't know me, then I'm not going to ask you if you heard my lecture that I did at the Bash because I already know.
You mean the one that you did it at the Paracon?
At the Gettysburg Bash. Yeah, I was actually the very first speaker. I kicked off the.
I was there in spirit. I was there in spirit.
I believe you.
Yeah, that sounded good.
So yeah, I was actually the first speaker. So, you have two ways of looking at it. It was like, hey, let's have Ernie kick off the festivities, or let's have Ernie go first and get his ass out of the way, and we'll get to the good stuff after him. So either way, I was absolutely honored to speak there. So
it was really nice.
Tell us.
Absolutely beautiful and inside and out. She's so amazing.
Right. Next year, because that was the Bash has been going on since 2017. Paranormal Inc., Dave and I, we've been going since 2018. But this upcoming year in 24, it got moved to a new venue.
Yes, and I'm excited.
It got moved to a new venue. It's not at the Wyndham no more.
Oh.
So we're excited about that. Enough about that. We want to hear all about you. Tell everybody watching and listening everything you do.
Who are you? What are you doing here?
And
all that. We moved to Arizona, so I don't have to fly there.
The Gettysburg Bash in Arizona. Take it on the road.
It's close. It's close enough. So anyway, but yeah. And don't let Lori see that picture that I sent you. She'd probably be mortified that I took the picture of the side of her head.
I'll show you. Next week or 2 weeks when we're at the.
You're gonna get me in trouble.
No, I'll show you some of the photos I have of Lori and us. I'm sure she'll get mad.
She's a redhead. She's a fiery redhead. Don't give her any ammunition.
And be careful because she will pick up your dress when you ain't looking. She does that. She looks into my house all the time. He goes, "You need to do this." Lori, stop that.
Yep, she's funny. I love her. So yeah, it's gonna be fun in a couple. Is it this week? No, it's next weekend. Next weekend.
Not this weekend. Coming up the following weekend.
Right. Yeah. And we have to have coffee.
What's that?
We have to have coffee.
Yes, that's a strongest
coffee. Yes,
that's the strongest thing I drink.
With Bailey's.
Irish coffee.
Irish, yes.
Never had that.
That's my excuse for being Irish.
Well, Miss Onae, tell us what you do, dear. I can't wait.
I forgot. That's what I was supposed to be doing here. You guys are so fun.
I told you we go left field. I warned you.
Yeah, tell us all about yourself because in about 90 seconds we're going to be talking about something else.
I am the psychic medium and tarot card reader, and I was born this way. I was raised in a family of tarot card readers and intuitives. So I was born with the gifts to see and speak to others across the veil and other things. I can channel and stuff like that and do all that fun psychic-y medium stuff. So I know they have like all kinds of names and stuff for that's all the gifts and things, but I just all lump it all together. Yeah. So, and I live out here in Arizona, but I was originally from back east, Connecticut, New York area, and but yeah, and I fly around and kind of read people's cards and talk to dead people.
A few days ago, I just got back from upstate New York. I was in an event up there last Saturday night. It's Nice area. Dave and I have been there several times.
It's beautiful.
What I'm intrigued with the tarot cards because I know nothing about it. But it's so funny though, and I have to tell you this: like all the years we've been doing this, and some of the world-renowned psychic mediums we work with, I have never officially had a reading of any kind. Now, I've had people, tell me things like, this person's near you, this person's by, I got this message, but I've never had the courage to sit and have someone do a reading because I'm scared they're going to tell me like I'm going to die or, or
they shouldn't tell you. Well, it all depends upon, again, it's like all they are is basically a tool. And, see, like a tool. It's all like it's just a little picture, right? For a divination. It's just to kind of help you tune in to your intuition and the messages that Spirit's giving you. So it's kind of like a fork, Am I going to use the fork as the divination tool? Am I going to stick it into the cheesecake, or am I going to stick it into the salad? It depends upon the person, using the utensil, or the tool. So, but yeah, it's I choose a cheesecake. Sorry, but
I've been at different Paracons, and how they have all the readers there. And I've actually seen I was kind of eavesdropping, and, they were telling their client, which, I mean, I'm not knocking it. I'm using it as an example, but, they was telling their client like some bad stuff, like about family members and they're going to die. And I'm like, there is no way.
Those people like that, they make a bad name for people like me. So yeah. I'm a psychic medium, but I'm also a minister, and I use my gifts, and I say gifts because I am Catholic and a Christian. If you want cake, Catholic, and I also have ADD, and I get squirrel. So I have squirrel moments, but yeah. So I believe, 1 Corinthians chapter 12. It's all about spiritual gifts, and you don't have to be a priest to have them, or a preacher. You actually be just a regular person that has these abilities to help others. And I use my gifts to help others. And I'm a minister, and I take that seriously.
I'm as well with the United Methodist Church.
I am not by no means trying to hustle off my book. Seriously, you've got to read it though, because when you went on about being because my Catholic faith and my studies and my spirituality is what led me into the paranormal, which in turn led me to write my book. So I think you might find that kind of intriguing.
I will help. Does it have pictures? How thick is your book? Is it pop up? Yeah, is it a pop up? Please.
Now this one, what it is? This one has no pictures.
To me instead, I love to listen.
It has no pictures.
I keep telling my audiobook.
It has no pictures, and it's 331 pages. But the thing is, it's 18 chapters, but each chapter is a different story. It's like a timeline through my life.
Yeah, I think it's like right there behind you.
Is it?
I think it is.
Is it?
No, everybody else's book's back there except Ernie's.
Oh, his is upstairs on right next to my
Thanks, Dave.
Yours is upstairs in plain view where I go by it all the time.
Yeah, I've got a book. It's in here though. It hasn't come out yet.
I have like the first 2 chapters of mine there, and the rest of it's fully understand.
Well, I got the second one's coming out by November, so that one's not going to be quite as long, but it has kind of like 2 theories that the book is based on. So hopefully it's as interesting as the first one.
Well, I'm sure you will have and you'll have an interesting book because I saw it when you sent me that. We totally texted like forever because you're like, oh yeah, I sent you the link for the StreamYard thing, and I'm like, okay, great. And then when I go to look for it today, I'm like scrolling and scrolling and scrolling. I'm like, dang, we texted a lot. So I didn't think we did. But anyway, in the little thing, you're like, hey, did you check out my little video? And I thought, oh, a little video, like maybe it's going to, it tells you a little bit about me. And I was thinking, oh, okay, like maybe it's going to be like a 5-minute thing. Because I didn't think to Google you. But I figured, I was going to like meet you in a couple weeks. So again, I was going to meet you again, but this time I'd remember. But yeah, it was an hour and a half long. It took me like 4 hours to finish it. Sorry. And that's a video. And you want me to read your book. Okay. So, but no, from your video though, but from your video.
Well, then if you watch my book seminar, then you don't need to read it because I explained everything.
See, thank you. See, just make videos of your books for me.
On our audiobook. I keep telling you. This is
no, your second book will be your second book is going to be absolutely amazing. You are going to be writing about your passion. It's going to be a new opportunity for you, a new creative work opportunity that you are just so passionate about. And something is coming in that's going to kind of help push you along to get this thing done. It hasn't happened yet because it's all behind the scenes, hon. But it's creativity, the communication back and forth, things that are going on that haven't happened yet. Because this is the moon card. The moon card kind of represents like the unknown, things behind the scenes. It can also represent fears too. So are you afraid to sit down and like really let your heart out, and hear your soul? But or is it just a delay because it hasn't happened yet? Because you're waiting for that special message to come in to help give you the oomph that you need.
Let me explain something. And you are 110% on point because I've missed several deadlines and I'm on my last chapter. Okay. And my last chapter is the story that was featured on Haunted Hospitals. Okay. And I hit like a sticking point because I wanted to be so descriptive and perfect that being the meticulous person that I am, I hit like a sticking point where I feel kind of timid to go forward because I don't want to mess it up. And you hit that. You nailed it. I couldn't have said it better myself.
Okay, well, you need to get busy with it, okay? Because you're going to start to move fast. And then there's celebration coming. Now, what they also said was, they didn't say it in the cards, but what they're telling me is, did you ever consider a ghostwriter?
No, absolutely not.
Consider a ghostwriter because you have 3 more books in you that you have not even tapped into yet, but you want to get them out like that. And a ghostwriter will help you. It is your words. It is your voice. It's just they are helping you put it together so you can get out there fast.
Right. Because it's funny. I mean, I'm finishing up 2, and I'm already thinking ahead to 3. Like seriously, like last night when we were doing our investigation, as we were going through the night, as different things were happening, it was kind of like going in my head, like, yep, meaning to myself, like I'm going to include this, I'm going to include that, and it's sometimes my brain moves faster than my old slow body.
I resemble that.
And my friend is watching, and he's all, you just got red. So,
and pardon me if I look like I'm distracted. I'm watching 4 different feeds at the same time.
My friend's on here, and Leland and I, we just did an investigation last night at the YMCA in Miami, Arizona, and oh my gosh, it was like so intense. So it was, but they just came like they just. I mean, we get a lot of activity there the last time we were there, but this time it was just, I don't know if it was because we were there again or they just really Leland, but it was intense. We were there till like 1:30 because it was so active. And
what is the I don't mean strange by like spooky, but what is like the most strange or off the wall place that you've investigated that you basically wouldn't think you would investigate? Like, because you said YMCA, and I'm like, I've never heard of somebody investigating a YMCA.
Oh my gosh, you can investigate anywhere, and because especially if you can, like, as a medium, everything's coming at you, so you gotta like close off. But you could do anywhere because because you gotta think about it. There's people everywhere.
Yeah, I mean that's I agree.
Yeah,
And
the safest place, though. I mean, yeah, the YMCA is an odd place, I guess you think, but these are old buildings. So these are like from like the 1800s, early 1900s, and this is an old mining town, Globe, and where am I? I'm in Globe and Miami. I was in Miami last night, which is like just 2 minutes down the road. So yeah, and these buildings are so full of energy. Even Wyatt Earp and Big Nose Kate were here, and Doc Holliday.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so it's like rich with rich here. And who's saying what? Someone's like messaging me or something. Like they always do this. It's like they know I'm here. But anyway, it's probably you'll probably hear my mom will call. My mom always calls during these things. It's like she's like so into and like make sure she gets in my business. So anyway, that's what it's like growing up with an intuitive mother. You can't hide anything. But yeah,
my mom had eyes in the front and back of her head. She knew to watch me, so
yeah,
I couldn't get away with it. She was a psychic, but I couldn't get away with it.
But I want to touch on something you said, because I'm going to ask Dave the same question I asked you. But that's something that people will get to read about in my new book is, like you said, where like, there's spirits everywhere. And, I like when people, they look at the place and they say, we investigated there or whatever. And, there was no activity. It's not haunted. I don't like to use the word haunted, but I use the word haunted so people know what I'm talking about. But, I look at it as, the spirits are just in that realm functioning that is oblivious to us, with our naked eye, but they're there. And just because you don't capture activity in a building, a house, wherever, that doesn't mean they're not there. That just means they're choosing not to reveal themselves.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
I've noticed on some of investigations that I've had, that I've been on, because I'm first and foremost a psychic medium and a minister. So my clients come to me. They bring me their spirits. So when you go on paranormal investigations, I'm always kind of like, I live like that kind of a spiritual sheltered kind of thing because my clients come to me, and it's typically always about love and light and stuff.
Can I ask you a psychic medium question?
Sure, you can always ask. You can ask me anything now. Whether I have an answer for you, I don't
know. Do you think he's an asshole? No, I'm joking. Now, hey, on a serious note, and this isn't a trick question, and I have reasoning for asking, and it's very basic. Do you feel that anyone periodically comes to see me or is around me?
Oh yeah, definitely. And they're telling me the number 3 actually. So I don't know if that has anything to do with the one in particular person, or if there's 3 energies that in particular really do like you, but they take their turns coming to see you. So because you can actually feel and sense the different energies that are around you. They have like a different kind of like personality, and you can so what sometimes you have to like put yourself in check and kind of go, okay, I was feeling this way before. Now all of a sudden, I don't know where I'm feeling totally different. That's the energy that has kind of like walked in at that moment for you. So
the thing is,
into that.
They could be standing in like that. Like I don't feel anything, and I think that's why. Like I have a very active house that I live in, and it's always been that way. And it's nothing threatening, and it's not every day. It's just very sporadic. Like they're just letting me know, like, "Hey, dummy, I'm here." And actually, Lori, when we had Lori on the show, she actually, without me even asking, just went on this rant and was telling me about pay attention to this and this and this at my house. and she was hitting on the activity that I was experiencing that I never even told Dave about. So, you know, but no, I mean, you completely answered my question. I didn't want to put you on the spot.
There's 3 of them, so they keep telling me 3, 3, 3, 3, and they're showing me like they kind of take their turns and with each person each energy around you. So pay attention to that, because you're going to know how you're feeling, who it is by how you're feeling empathically with them. So just pay attention. And one, they're showing me a crown. So I don't know what that means. I don't know what that means if they like you and they think that you know, are wonderful, or that you come from royalty, or I don't know what the crown means. That maybe you ate at Burger King lately. I don't know. So, but
wait a minute, if you
let her go, she's going fine, but my computer's just running.
You're
also, something popped up on my computer, and there it goes.
There we go.
My computer decided to have its own mind.
Okay. Yeah. And you have a troll, just so you know.
Yeah, I see that.
Yeah. So if she comes up to anyone that's following me, I didn't do it. I do not come to people and ask, and tell them to come to me and send me money. That's
Yeah, the troll is
that. I don't go. They're constantly like, "Hey, there's your troll right there."
Yeah.
Before you got choppy on there, and you was saying something to me about one.
Explain what you just said, and I apologize.
You were talking about one of the spirits because you said it was 3, and then you said like one.
There's a crown. They keep showing me a crown. Did you get that part?
A what?
A crown.
A crown.
A crown. Yeah, the thing you put on. Yeah.
I'm the king. They're telling me I'm the king. I told you I was the king.
Royalty. That's it. So, yeah, no, they were showing me a crown. So you like froze. The both of you were like, in the picture.
What happened
was I was like, are you not getting it? What?
As I was trying to get rid of this troll, I didn't, I really quickly froze up because they were like hammering the feed. Oh, I apologize.
Leland's laughing. He's all Burger King.
There's the crown. You know them paper crowns.
That's exact. When you watch this thing over again, you're going to hear the whole thing of everything I said.
Oh boy,
that's funny.
So, Dave.
Yes.
Out of everywhere, pre-Ernie and post-Ernie, what's your investigate? What venue did you investigate that, or wound up investigating that took you by surprise because it was out of the ordinary, and you know what I mean? Because everybody, spooky mansion, haunted house. What venue caught you off guard? Like, oh wow, like I never expected this.
Trans-Allegheny. And the reason why is I didn't go with Ernie. This was when I was first getting into the paranormal side of it.
Well, no, we had already started Paranormal Inc., but if you remember, I was at the Jersey Shore.
Right.
I'm laying on the beach, and he's calling me, telling me about evidence, and hey, I got to show you this, and guess what happened?
Well, I was downstairs in where they do the lobotomies at. And I had a cameraman who couldn't even figure out which way to point a camera. And I'm like, no, this way. But I had no flashlight set up. And as we're talking, it got to the point we did like 20 minutes of talking. We found out it wasn't a patient. It was actually a person who would work there, had a heart attack, died, and they worked in payroll. And at that point, like I said, I've been talking for 20 minutes. Both the flashlights rolled off.
That's crazy.
Yeah, so that's because I was just getting into the real paranormal side. I mean, we've been doing it with another team for a while, but hadn't really gotten into something really happened that made you go, wow, and that just made me go, huh? So.
Yep. I was into this. Obviously I'm into the spiritual metaphysical part, But what really sold me, because I didn't know if I was actually really going to belong in paranormal, and if I if I really truly believed in the machines and stuff. I've learned a lot since then, but what really sold me, my moment, was when my aunt Beverly, she passed away, but she was the one who basically kind of guided me the most through this, my gifts. And she had come through one of the machines, and she said, "Hi, Onae," and it was in her voice, and she said, "Hi, Onae," exactly how she would have said it.
Yeah.
And I about dropped to the floor. That was the moment that I truly believed in the paranormal investigations, the little trinkety things and stuff like that.
Like, for example, last night we used several different, something as simple as number 2 pencils to $20,000 equipment. But,
oh wait, stop right there. What do you do with a number 2 pencil?
What he was saying, where
you put one down as a base, and then you put another one on top of it where it'll float. So you have both ends balanced between them. So what it is the coating of the pencil, it makes it very, very, very easy for an energy to move it. But the thing is, if you watch trying to do it as a human, it's almost impossible to balance. It's a pain to balance.
Yeah, you're just sitting it on top like this,
Cross.
so that the top pencil moves.
There's very little friction between the pencils, so it's easy for energies to move them. And then beneath it, I have a yes/no wheel that just says yes, no, yes, no, yes, no, all the way around. So last night, when we put it down, I wasn't really expecting anything, but it's a good way to test to see if you get some good interaction. Mm-hmm. Well, very quickly, we were getting interaction, and very quickly thereafter, it turned into there was a spirit who was lost, stuck, did not know how to find their way home, and we ended up crossing over the spirit.
But what I was saying, we use a variety of different spirit boxes and this and that. And, of course, they're going to spit out a lot of phonetic sounds. But, being an investigator, you got to listen for your direct response. And at some point, I forget what the question was, but it said my first name, which, it's not, my first Ernie isn't like Mike or Joe, something you hear every day. And I actually asked I was like, okay, if you know me or you know who I am, what is my last name? And it said my last name
several times.
But then when I went, while they were still doing that session, I went upstairs in the mansion for something because we were originally in the parlor. But when I went upstairs, they said that it was just constantly calling my name till I come back down. So it was pretty intriguing.
Well, the other thing is, as we're sitting there, from the stairwell that goes up to the main mansion.
Oh, yeah.
You could hear his name calling from upstairs.
Yeah, we were doing the pencil experiment in the parlor, and the whole group was there. And off to the side is a stairwell that goes up into the mansion. And everyone in the crowd heard a man's voice come from upstairs. We heard it with our naked ear. So I went to the step, and I peeked around, and I was looking to see if there was any shadows or anything, because it's pitch black up there. And as I didn't see anything, as I was pulling away, I heard something slide, like something slid across the floor, which made me look back up the steps again. Once again, I didn't see anything. So as I was rounding the corner to go back, the same male voice actually called my first name from upstairs.
And we heard it.
Yeah, it was crazy. It's, as thrilling as it is, man, it's unnerving when they single you out. You know what I mean? But it was very interesting.
It is. It's really interesting. And then it's just and as a medium, when you're working with paranormal investigators and the equipment, it's like I'm getting messages, and I'll relay the messages that I'm getting or the information, and they'll use the equipment to validate what I'm getting, and then vice versa. It's like I'll give they'll ask a question, and then I will get more detail, and I can get the emotions and just everything. I get more like they show me video almost of if they want me to see and explain what their story is. They love that. So it's really interesting how the two kind of work together.
Absolutely.
Wow. It's got to be. I don't know, man. I think. I mean, I know. I mean, I understand. The gifts that mediums have and everything, but not being a medium, I'm not quite certain how that feels. But being the type of person I am, I'd be scared that I would get lost between like I wouldn't know what's reality and what's spiritual. You know what I mean?
You mean you're not already lost?
I'm a little lost.
You're at my house right now. Come on now, dude.
Like last night with Leland and Rita, my friend Rita, she has Arizona Ghost Adventures, and that's who I do most of my investigations with right now. But last night at the Y, I channel energies, and I don't particularly like to carry them around inside, especially their negative energies. But this one just kind of hopped in, and he was giving information and communicating. He decided he didn't want to work with the machinery anymore, and he hopped in, and I'm like explaining all this stuff, and I'm showing them where the kids were hidden and stuff and where he would like do things, and it was just like but I kind of like take a back seat to it. So, but Leland was following me around, and I forgot why I was like totally mentioning this because I'm like I have a squirrel moment. I don't know. I like lost my train of thought.
I do that as well.
It was just kind of like just how it all works. It's like, and what I'm trying to say here, I think, if I'm on the right track here, is that I feel like you have the ability, you just aren't trusting yourself. And because it is fearful to think that you can open yourself up to energies hijacking or kind of coming on in and riding where you have to take the back seat for a few minutes.
I've had several people, including Lori, tell me that, like, based on my character and some mannerisms, maybe, and the way I theorize things, that they feel that, I'm somewhat sensitive, or what would word be, like empathic? Is that
empathic?
But I don't know if it's my ignorance or my skepticism or just stubbornness, but I just don't, like we go, like when we investigate somewhere and we'll have a group and we'll walk into whatever the venue is, and someone in the group that thinks they're this or that, and they're like, oh, I can feel them, then they're attaching to me, and I can walk in anywhere. And the only thing I'm scared of is that, like last night, I walked into a chair and damn near broke my shin because it's so dark. That's my biggest fear. I don't
myself laughing.
I don't feel anything, like, I'm scurrying through this mansion last night, and then all you hear is this bang and and everybody's like, oh shit, Ernie walked into the chair. But I just
dark. It's like I don't know why I do this, but I'm afraid of the dark. So
what's funny though? Like I'll go to work because I work permanent night work, and we'll get a call for whatever, and I'll be going like through somebody's yard or through a building in the pitch dark, and people's like my coworkers are like, why don't you talk? Like I'm so used to being in the dark, I don't even turn on a flashlight. It's like my eyes adjust and I can function better without like man-made light.
Well, the funny part is the first thing you ever taught in he's a police officer, I'm a former police officer. First thing you're taught in the academy is when you're going through and clearing, reach over, turn the light on. That's one of the first things you just go click. Okay.
But I just go scurrying through like in the dark. Like I'm so used to it.
I think you're looking for a star role or are those extras? The ones who like go into like those, what are those horror movies, and like you're the one who like runs into, all the chainsaws going,
I'm the guy with the chalk body around it.
Machete.
Like it's so funny because like I'm a very like kind of monotone, very dry. I don't get excited too often. And when I heard last night when I was at that staircase and I heard that man call my name, I just yelled and ran up the steps. And like some people that have been to other events of ours was like, man, I never seen you get excited before. And I'm like,
You got giddy.
I was like,
I just heard my name
because I knew nobody was up there, and it was only 20 feet away, and I was like, oh, and tore off up the steps. So.
Yeah. When you hear your name, it's just like, oh my gosh. And Roy, who said he needs a nightlight, Roy was on an investigation with me, and I think it was like his virgin. He was like a virgin that night from investigation.
It's funny because let me reach in my pocket here.
The guy had experienced me, and I had so many like channelings, and it was so frightening for everyone there. And I'm kind of like in the background inside here, but there were like all kinds of energies. And this was in Virginia City, Nevada. That is like the greatest place to go if you want to investigate anything. Virginia City is like the place to be.
But it's Dave and I carry this little flashlight, like it's bright.
You don't need to use it. I know you like the dark.
Well, and the thing is, like, even at night, like on my days off, I stay up all night, and I walk around my house in the dark. I walk outside around the property with my dog, and I'm like a burglar. I got this little light, and I'm like, going through the house and going through my yard. Because one night it was so funny. I'm coming up the side of my house. I got Stewie with me, and we're coming up and I got my little flashlight. I forget what I was looking at, and I see this county cop ride by, and then he kind of like stops and backs up, and I'm like, oh, he probably thinks I'm like a burglar going around his house. But
yeah, because you got the itty bitty, like, oh, they'll know them. Yeah.
Oh my God.
Well, Dave here is going to put the light on. Just put the whole light on, the floodlight. He's smart.
When it comes to that crime series, I'm going to be on the ground with the chalk line, and he's going to be in the back row with a light going, Dave, you all right?
But I just like, like at work, for example, I like being in the dark because putting a light on screws your eyes. Yeah. If I can adjust to the dark, I got the advantage because you have to figure. I know we're way off course, but this is the way I look at it. And like I was in the K9 unit for a decade, and many people my dog and I, we found hiding in a building. Here's the thing: if you're a bad guy and you're hiding from me, and you're in this building, when I come in to find you, I'm there. You know where I'm at.
Right.
I don't know where you're at, so you automatically have the jump on me.
You got
so that's why, like, I always try to stay in the dark. Just sneak and
he stays in the dark.
Duck and dodge. Yeah, man, duck and dodge.
Whole nother story.
Oh man, damn, we're almost out of time already.
No, we're not.
Well, then let's get some. Does anybody have a question? I can do a little bit of this.
Several people on, and the reason why you see me bouncing around like is I'm watching 4 different feeds, so trying to get people's comments in. But if anybody has a question for Onae, you are welcome to ask it in the feed, and I'll post it. We actually have.
Otherwise, if they don't get a reading now, I'm on Tuesday nights on my Facebook page, so when I do readings there.
All right, I'm trying to see.
Everybody's been chatting all the time. Now we say ask a question and it's dead.
Stop. Yeah, Colette was on with.
There we go. We got something.
There you go.
5 Ds of dodgeball when in the dark. I don't know what the
I
heck
hear the Boston in that. I heard the Boston in that.
I'm not from Boston.
I know, but you got the Boston in that.
You know who she sounds like? She sounds like our friend April.
April.
Yep. You sound like April.
Yep. She's from New York too. I grew up around every summertime.
Yeah, she's from Jersey.
In New York.
Yeah, she's from Jersey.
So,
the armpit.
The armpit in New York. Come on. No, but when I was a kid, I grew up in New York.
You know, Jersey's the armpit. That's
This is from Carmen. She's asking, do I have anybody around me?
Carmen? Okay, because it just says Facebook user to me. So
yeah,
it doesn't matter as a medium and psychic and intuitive, you just read energy anyway. You don't even need names. I had one person tell me their name was Twinkle Toes. So, I'm reading for Twinkle Toes. So it doesn't matter. But let's see what we got here for you, huh? Is there an energy around? Is an energy around you? Let's see.
Do I have anybody around me?
Okay, anybody around me? I'm
The
gonna
men
get.
with the white jackets.
They're showing me a yes, but they're making sure that I see the yes in blue. So because they write things for me, and then when they write things, depending upon the color of what I get, what they're writing in, they're making sure I notice that it's blue. And what that represents to me is the blue represents contentment. So whoever is around you, they bring you peace. They're there to bring you peace. So do not feel anxiety when they come. Or if you are feeling anxiety and then you feel like someone's there, and then you feel like all of a sudden a release of stress and feeling calm. That is when there's another troll right there. But yeah, he's a troll. But as far as getting back to you, hon, yeah, whoever this energy is, because they're not telling me. I shouldn't say they're not telling me. They gave me a C name, like a C. So like I don't know, something like Carl or something like that. Or I don't know if it's a guy or a girl. They're not giving me whether it's masculine or feminine. They're just saying, well, I'm getting the CAR kind of thing. So it could be like a Carl, Carlotta, I don't know, like Carmen, something like that. So that's the name I'm kind of getting. But they want you to know
that the person you're speaking to, her name is Carmen.
Oh, okay, Carmen. So whoever is with you is also still got the C. They're like, we still want her to say the C. We're like the C. So so whoever's around you also has the C name. But they want you to know that they're bringing you peace, calm. They're going to give you that energy. So it's no one to be afraid of, nothing to cause you anxiety. If anything, if you are having anxiety, they're saying something about the lavender. The lavender smell will kind of help you. Will help you kind of relax. So make sure you have. I don't know if you're like into essential oils or not. I'm not necessarily into that, but something about lavender. They keep saying something about lavender. So for your anxiety, I don't know if that helps anxiety or not, but for some reason that's what they're kind of making me feel. So I don't know if you'd like me to paint your meditation room with lavender, or you like the smell of lavender. I'm not really sure, but that's what they're showing me right now so far. I'm gonna leave that with you, and I hope that helps.
All right, and then we have the next previous owner of my house. Their mother-in-law drowned in my pool. Is she ever around? Ew. That was from Jenny.
Yay, Jenny. Okay. I'm sorry.
Sell.
Okay. Leland, it's me. Okay, so is it? You want to know if the mother-in-law is still there? Hopefully not. That was a tragic way to go. But let's see what am I getting here for you. She
That just gave me
if she's there, she doesn't hang around there too often. I feel like she's kind of moved. She's like busy. She says she's busy. So I'm not really feeling her energy being there a lot. If you are feeling energy around there, I feel like it's definitely a masculine energy that kind of comes in. I'm feeling like he's definitely from an older generation. So because I feel like he's kind of putzing around. He says putzing around. He like kind of shuffles his feet and putts around in the backyard kind of thing. I'm not really feeling so much that the mother-in-law is there anymore. I feel like she just keeps telling me she's busy. She's busy. So that's all I'm getting. So I'm gonna leave that with you, and I hope that helps.
Colette is asking, can you do a general reading? And Jenny said,
okay, Colette. I thought she went to bed, but all right, cool.
Yep, I thought you did too, but she's still here.
All right, let's see. Let's focus on Colette. There's a C name. Oh, Colette, they gave me a green 4. So that, because now how I was raised is where you shuffle the cards and you have, and some of the cards I was raised with where you put numbers on the back of them in different colors. Each color can represent something, and same with the numbers. And so far right here, we have a green 4. What that represents here, if you are having a difficult time financially right now, things will be changing for you. 4 represents a good foundation. Green represents financial situation, but it also does represent, Colette, matters of the heart. Okay, so whatever you're dealing with and going through, focus on that heart chakra. Okay, because you have a great foundation in what you are feeling right now, and it's okay to express and feel the way you're feeling. So just understand that, okay? Because I feel like you're feeling like you're insecure or uncertain about an emotional situation, and it's saying here you are solid in where you're feeling right now, what you're going through on an emotional situation. News is coming in though for you, hon, and it does look like here. Sometimes maybe things get a little too hectic, or maybe there's a little kind of conflict that was just kind of stressing you out. So again, there's the green 4, which tells me mostly it's saying financial typically, but for some reason they are really focusing on that heart chakra. So whatever this might be stressing you out, I'm going to say, listen to your intuition, listen to your gut. You're solid. You've got the number 4 there. That's a great balance. So you are balanced in how you're feeling. So just kind of trust yourself that you are on the right path with that. It does look like here things are moving already forward anyway. And I think this might have been a miscommunication or something during the Mercury retrograde. Yeesh, that was a rough one. So, but saying here, you are very grounded, very giving. You love to take care of people. So it's not like you're irrational. So trust yourself that you are right with this. And it doesn't and it knows here it's saying here, with that emotional situation, something is going to be offered or presented to you or just kind of come out of nowhere now. That there was maybe a miscommunication, but now there's going to be like a clearing. Okay, so just kind of, and again, it's a number 4 around an emotional situation. So typically this can also represent an opportunity coming out of nowhere for you too. So I just want to get on, touch on that, because something is coming up that's going to be making some changes in your life. But they're really focusing on the emotional part of this, and it will bring you peace, tranquility, and also joy and happiness. So you just keep trusting your own intuition, and financially and emotionally on the right path. And I'm gonna leave that with you, and I hope that helps.
Wow. I know. I mean, I may not be at liberty to speak, but I'm going to, because I mean it sincerely. But I know a little bit about the issues that Colette suffered recently, and when you were just explaining everything,
you hit the nail on the head.
You hit the nail on the head. I mean, from my perspective,
yep,
of course,
here.
I'm not speaking
for Colette, but,
exactly. But
yeah, you really hit the nail on the head.
That's crazy.
Yeah, she drove it to the board on that one. Yeah. So very cool. Well, we have about a little bit more than 5 minutes left.
So we'll give, because she knows more about it than we do. We're going to give you the honors to tell everyone what's happening in 2 weeks and where we will be.
Oh my gosh, I wish you didn't give me that honor.
Put you on the spot. Martinsburg, West Virginia.
I don't know where I'm going. I know I'm going to West Virginia.
Martinsburg, West Virginia Roundhouse.
No, I mean the event, just because you know more about the event than I do. All I'm trying to find out is when I can get there so I can set my table up. I just need the time.
Early in the day.
I'm gonna freaking I'll message Lori. I will. I'm gonna message her. I'm gonna call her up.
Not like he has a direct number.
No, because I message Lori.
About nothing.
I message Lori, and Lori tells me to message Dolly. Then I message Dolly. Then she sends me the ad for the event. I know all this. I just want to know what time I can show up and set my table up.
They're doing this.
All right. Show up on the 5th. Pick me up at the airport
during the day,
and everything's good. You'll be fine.
Tell people how to find you.
How to find me.
I'm still waiting to hear what the event is.
Oh, the event? The event is going to be like some dress up gala. I'm really not really good at this. I know I'm going to be reading, and Lori told me I have to dress up like a gypsy. So
I'm not wearing a costume.
Like a costume contest, and I'm going to be the psychic there, the gypsy psychic there. And
he's ready to come next.
And it's to raise money for a roof of the Yeah, I'm really botching this. Thanks, Ernie.
I will be dressed up. I will be dressed up as Ernie Atwell, paranormal researcher /
Ernie, you better dress up as a pirate.
No, I'm not dressing up. I'm there as a vendor.
No. You need to come the way you did for the Haldeman that one.
You want to hear a funny story? I know. Here we go again. We were hosting a public investigation at a haunted mansion
for Halloween.
I dressed up as a priest, and we stopped at Sheets. We stopped at Sheets to get a cup of coffee, and some guy come out and started like asking me. He started asking me for like spiritual advice and like confessing, and I felt so bad that I kind of just, because I'm very knowledgeable on religion, so I kind of just led him in the right direction. I didn't have the heart to tell him I wasn't. But then we get to the venue, and the lady hosting it, a very good friend of ours, her sister comes up to me and she goes, "Ernie, so glad to finally meet you. All I hear is Ernie this, Ernie that. I finally get to meet you." She goes, "And let me tell you, your costume is freaking amazing." And I'm like, what costume? I'm really a priest. And she was like, "Oh, I'm so sorry." And I let her think this for about 2 hours. And then I finally told her, I was like, "Look, I'm just joking. I'm not really." Because when I was young, I was really contemplating becoming a priest. And I went from priest to cop. So
yeah, but I went to Catholic school. I didn't want to be a nun, so I don't know. I was a Catholic girl. Still am.
I went to Catholic school too. So yeah.
I didn't.
It shows, sinner. You heathen.
Don't make me whip out the holy water on you. All right, so October 7th, the event starts at what time?
7 p.m.
7 p.m.
I don't know what time I'm getting there to set up because no one will tell me.
It is a Halloween event. You can be there at 4 o'clock.
It's called the Zombie. What is it?
Zombie Apocalypse something.
Zombie.
It's at the Roundhouse in West Virginia.
You never been to the Roundhouse, have you?
Where's that at?
It's where we'll be in 2 weeks.
Martinsburg, West Virginia.
No,
it is a very haunted place.
Okay.
Yes.
Very haunted.
So, actually, there was a mechanic area out the back, and there's still parcel of it that they would service the trains on, and apparently a train fell on somebody and killed them there.
Oh.
Yeah, so there's a lot of tragic things that had happened there in the railroad yard. So
tell everybody where they can find you at.
Yep.
Well, you can find me in West Virginia, apparently, at the
your website. Yeah, if they want to use your services, how do they find you?
And then you can find me at Onae.org, which is just my first name, and it's my real name. Everyone's like, "Oh, so what's your real name?" I'm like, that is my real name. I was born that. It's just, it is. So it's Onae.org, and that's my website. And you can also find me on Facebook on my personal, which is where I basically hang out, and I post funny memes, occasionally a spiritual one, an inspirational one, but mostly funny. If you can handle my sense of humor. And that's Onae Shin. And then you can find me on my business page on Facebook, which is Tarot by Onae, but it just shows up Onae once you punch in Tarot by Onae. You can find me on TikTok at Onae Psychic Medium, and you can find me on Twitter and Instagram as Onae18. I don't know why it's Onae18, but that's what they gave me, and I just stuck with it. So
you want to hear my best psychic medium meme?
What?
I went to my psychic's house and I rang the doorbell and she asked who it was, so I left. What? What's up there?
Get out.
Hey, we got to run. We will see you in 2 weeks in West Virginia. If people in the area, Martinsburg, West Virginia, the Roundhouse Halloween Gala. It is October 7th, 7 p.m., I think, till midnight. The link is on our Paranormal Inc. page, or you can contact any one of us directly. We'll hook you up with some tickets and Hope to see you there. And thank you, Onae, for spending an hour of your Sunday with us. We appreciate it very much. We will see everybody and see you in 2 weeks.
Definitely.
Thank you again for being on the show. We'll talk to you. Lots of love and be safe.
Bye-bye.
It was a pleasure meeting you guys. Thanks.
She was
That's
amazing. I love her.
It's so funny though, because we were chatting about the show, about the event, and I posted a photo of Santi from The Walking Dead.
Right.
Me and Santi, and she's friends with him as well. And she shoots me a message. She's like, "You were at the bash and didn't speak to me," and I'm like, "I didn't know." Like, and then when she sent me a photo of her,
I
and Lori,
said hi
then,
to her.
yeah, then I was like, "Oh shoot, I do know who you are." But it's old age, you know. It's
We'll attribute that to senility. What are you doing here? Guys, thank you again for watching. Keep the faith, stay love. You know, God's blessing to you, and have a great.
And remember, do something kind for someone.
Absolutely.
It doesn't cost a thing, and it might not just make their day, but it might change their life.
Pay it forward, guys.
See
Love
ya.
you.
Bye-bye.
You've been listening to Step into the Paranormal with Ernie Atwell and David Seiler. Thank you for listening, and listen in next week for another topic and more great guests, right here on WLFE DB Radio Network.